doing any sort of pressing variation, we want to make sure that we're keeping our shoulders in a very tight position, because that will help us be very strong in our movement. So we want to make sure that the scapula is not being protracted, which is when shoulders roll forward, but that it's being retracted. A scapular retraction will keep your serratus, your lats nice and tight, which will engage your chest, front delts, and triceps in a much more efficient manner. If it's protracted and you're rounding and your elbows flare out, you could put yourself at risk for rotator cuff tear, and by the time you start feeling it, it's already too late. So let's make sure that we're doing our pressing right. Any sort of pressing variation, this will work. I'm just gonna take this off the pin, as that's easier to do. So when I'm here, a really helpful cue to think about is bending the bar. So a lot of people, they kind of, like I said, they have their shoulders kind of shrugged forward, their elbows come out, and what this does is put pressure on the rotator cuff, and it doesn't have as much strength. So instead of pressing like this, where we're not as tight, I bend the bar. So I tuck my lats in nice and tight. Now from here, I keep my elbows in, and I keep my elbows and hands kind of in a straight line, as that's going to engage my triceps the most. So I go to bend, and look how I keep everything in. It's going to engage my chest. It's going to put my shoulders in a really tight position. Now, as I come up, I can drive off of my feet and bring power straight into a diagonal press. So I start in a straight line here above my shoulders. I go to bend the bar to stay tight. Now I bring it down in a slight diagonal, right? Because I don't want to go straight down. If I go straight down, my elbows will flare out. I want to keep my elbows in. So I tuck in, bend the bar, go at a slight diagonal. Now I can press through my feet and press through in a diagonal pressing motion. That's going to give myself the most amount of strength. So bend the bar, down, up. Bend the bar, up. Getting to that full extension as you go through your press.